Hi, this is Numeric Citizen here. In today's video, revisiting document sharing in Craft version 2.6.0. You know, custom domains. It's been a while since I talked about how you can share documents on the web with Craft, and for a few releases, the Craft team has been at work updating the features surrounding document sharing. And I think this video is all about exploring those new features. The first thing to know and understand is the fact that document sharing options are heavily dependent of which subscription tier you subscribe to for Craft. And personally, I'm a business subscriber, but if you subscribe to the pro tier, or if you're only using the free version of Craft, then your options will vary. And during the course of this video, I will explain the differences depending of which subscription tier you are at. I'll be using 3 different themes within Craft to demonstrate the differences between all of the options that we've got. And the reason I'm using different themes is the basic fact that options for customizing your domain under which you will share your documents are based on each team. So within a specific team, you've got only one custom domain that you can use. You cannot have different custom domain in different spaces. You really have to set different team if you want to share documents under different custom domain. So that being said, this is why I'm going to use 3 different themes here. One is a free version and the other 2 are business subscriptions. And you understand why I'm using those 2 different business subscription, because I want to show you different settings and how they affect the link that you will be using to share your documents. So let's say I'm using here this document that I want to share. So I'll double click on it, and the share option here is the place where you will see the options. The first thing you have to take care of is if you over the link here, you'll see how Craft will construct the link under which you will share the document. So in this case, this is a concatenation of 2 words and also a few characters, and then .craft.me / and the path to your document. This is new and under version 2.6, where they introduce custom subdomain. And if you are a subscriber to Craft, this is the first thing that you want to change, is to grab your personal custom subdomain so that you share documents under meaningful links. And one of the reasons for that is that if you share documents under random links like that, some people may not be willing to open the document for security purposes. They don't like to hit link where you don't really understand what could be behind it. So I really suggest that you change that and you grab your own custom subdomain. And so let's say I'll share this document. Once it's shared, I can go here to customize. And as you can see here, there is a default. This is the default that has been assigned to me when I created this free theme. And I should find a different one. So to change it, I can just click here and set a name, a meaningful name under which the shared documents will be shared. And I could say test, and Craft will check if it is available, and it is not available. So obviously test is an obvious one, so it's already taken by someone else. If I type test 1 2 3, then I could use this custom subdomain to share my documents, but I would suggest that you use really a different one. And if you share documents under this custom random subdomain, and you forget to grab your subdomain, if you later change to your own custom subdomain, you have to know that all the links of the previously shared documents will still be working just fine. And you can flip between the random and your custom subdomain as you wish over time. And don't worry, all your links will be still working. And this is something that I think the craft team has done a very good job as maintaining the integrity of your content online. So this is the very a very important thing to know and to understand. Now, if I want to use an external domain which I own, I could just click on this add external domain option, and then I will be prompted with a popover telling me that I should upgrade to the business plan because this is the only way to get custom domain. I'm not referring here to subdomain, I'm referring to custom domain. So for now, I'll leave it that way because I already subscribe to different to a business plan for other teams. The other thing I want to talk about is the last thing here is the path of the document. Again, this path will be stored internally to the Crafts backend. So once if you forget to change it and you share a document under this specific path, and then you later remember that you had to set a more meaningful path, you have to know that the link that you used before will still be working again, and you can change it here as you wish. So I'll keep it that way for now, and I'll save that option. And so now I have a path under which I can share this specific document. You have to understand also that the path here is a per document option. Next, if you want to share with a password, so if you want to share, if you want to set a password, it's because you want to share maybe with another people and you want to share the password in it with using a different mean. So you can set a password if you want. The before going to the email access, let's go to the advanced option because I think they are easier to set. They recently changed the visual option and the grouping of this panel, and I like it a lot. If you want to disable the table of content that is enabled by default, you can just click here. The table of content again is generated based on the headings that you are using, or if you are using or creating pages inside a document, then the page header will be used to will be in part of the table of content. The title of the document, so this is the title here. If you want to disable that, I don't know why you would do that, but if you want, you can just disable that. You can also enable or disable the author name, and also you can maybe disable the watermarking, which shows at the bottom of each document created with Craft. And this is exactly one of the options that makes it different from the free tier and the pro tier or the business subscription tier. If you want to disable that, you have to be at least at the pro level subscription. So for now, I'll leave it that way. If you want to allow people who will be visiting your shared document and you want them to be able to duplicate the document and store them inside their own craft space, then you should enable that. And also, if you have a link within your document that targets other document within your space, then you can enable that. Be careful with that one because if you forget links within your document that points to document that you are not actively sharing, but they become accessible when you enable this option. So be careful with that one. And the last one is enabling search engine indexing. And it does, again, ask you to be on the pro level, but if you enable that, then there's some magic happening behind the scene where I think the back end of the Craft hosting service will inform Google search engine that there is a new document to be indexed, and eventually it will be indexed. And I do have this option enabled for the Craft Bible, for example, so that people can find it on the web. So that's for the advanced option when you share the document with other people. Now, the other option is regarding the commenting feature of Craft. And so if you want to allow people to visitors to comment or view comments, then you can enable those feature here. You might want people to only view comments, and because maybe you only enable comments within Graph itself, and you want people online, the visitors, to only view them. Or you can enable the add comments so they can interact with your document using their own account in Craft or a guest account as a visitor. The other option is the fact that you can enable or expire a shared document. So after a specific date, the document will no longer be available. That's cool. And the last option is regarding the email access. This is something that they recently introduced. I think it's in version 2.6. And if you want to enable that, you see, you'll have to go to the business subscription. So this is where I'm going to move to the subscription option, to the business subscription option. So before going to the business the business subscription um, related feature, just remember that you can set the theme settings. If you add to the actual theme node here on the left sidebar, then you will see the settings for that theme. And if you click there, then this is where you will be able to set custom branding, and you will set a custom domain. And here again, I'm referring to the top level domain, not the subdomain. This one should have maybe said set craft custom subdomain instead, to be clearer. So this is where you can set again the subdomain I referred to earlier in the video. So we will be going to the business subscription only options. Now I'll switch to a different theme on which there is a business subscription tied to it. So I'll go there. I'll go to the numeric citizen world. This is a theme where I have a few spaces where I'm blogging about blogging. So this is a meta blog, if you wish. So if I go in the settings here, you'll see that I have set a custom theme logo on it, because this is the theme logo here, because I want it to appear on all the documents that I'm sharing. This is why the share page branding is also enabled. And I have also a link defined to the custom icon. If the user click on it, it will go to my Linktree page. Also, this is again where I can set the custom subdomain, but on this site, on this theme, it's not set. And one of the reasons for that is because I'm using a custom main domain. And if you do that, if you use a custom main domain, then you will be able to set any subdomain that you want, because you control the full link domain to which the documents are shared. So in this case, this is world.numericcitizen.io, and my DNS provider is Cloudflare, and I have set up everything to work. And this is why I do have this green dot here that is kind of flashing and reminded me that it's currently working fine. So if I go on the default space for that, again, I can go in the settings, and you can change the name, change the space logo if I want, and also manage the access to that. So if I go in the first document where this is the root of the website for which I'm writing, I'll go and see the options there. So the custom URL is world.numericcitizen.io, and the path to the root document of this website is meta. If I go and visit this website, I'll switch to the browser. So if I enter that link, you will see that the website will actually load, and this is what you are seeing right now. As you can see, the table of content is enabled by default because I like the way it is presented and allow visitors to navigate within my website. So, and at the bottom left here, down there, there's the custom logo. If I click on that, it will bring me to the website, the Linktree page. And yeah, this is the main page, and this is how it looks. But if you look carefully when you visit a website and you don't specify anything after that, so if I remove this portion or if I remove the forward slash, implicitly it means to go to the root document in this website. But in Craft, if I do that and I hit enter, I do fall on a different web page, and this is the default page, I would say, that is defined for this specific space where I'm sharing documents. This is the forward slash document. This is something that I always found to be weird with Craft, but this is what it is. If I go back in Craft and see how it goes, I do have a page called Oopsie page, and if I look at the configuration for this page, you'll see that the path here is empty. So this is where you will be entering the website if you don't specify a path to the document. Also, you'll see that if I go back to the main page, what is meant to be the actual main page of the website, and I go on in here, you'll see that I did not take care of changing the name of the custom subdomain because everything is shared under this main domain. It doesn't mean I should not set one for this team if I want to be sure that nobody else take their name instead of mine. So I could set it, but for now I'll leave it that way because I don't want to break anything in there. So, and yeah, so if I go on a different document, like my complete content creator tool set, you'll see that this document again is shared under the same domain, main domain. The world is a custom subdomain, but this is something that I'm managing myself with my DNS provider, and this is the path for this specific page within the website. It doesn't mean that the main site should not refer to this one because it does. And it means that you go to the main site, which is here. And from there, I could just paste the content, a link to the other shared document to kind of create a structured website where people can just go from the main page to sub pages of your website. So this is for this um, specific team. And if I go to the other team where the default one that was created for me when I first joined Craft, if I go in the settings there, you'll see again that I have a custom branding, custom logo, and a different custom domain. And this is here that you see that those options are based on a team per team basis. So you need to have a different business subscription in order to be able to do this exact setup. If I go in the for testing purposes and I have a document here and I'm trying to, let's say I'm trying to share, you see the default link address will be crafted.numericCitizen.me followed by a path. So if I create this document, you'll see that I can use my personal custom subdomain, or I can use, and I prefer to use the domain that I use because if I want to move my stuff elsewhere, then I'll be able to keep this subdomain and the main domain. So, and here again, you can change the path to make it more legible and understandable by visitors. So that's for the options related to the business plan subscription tier. As you can see in this video, I'm a big fan of sharing content built using Craft because it's simple and it's very effective, and the website that are created with Craft are kind of beautiful. As you can see here, there are many documents that I've been sharing over time. And this is why I like having a specific folder, like this one is called online, which means that those documents are shared as main website, and I like them to be very confined into a very specific folder. If I click on this folder, I can select a different way of displaying that if I want. So this is how I'm learning and getting used to all the options that are available for sharing documents with Craft. So that's it for today's video. I hope that you learn a few things along the way. I think this video was long overdue, and I'm happy to be sharing all my knowledge about that. Thanks for watching until the very end. If you are not a subscriber to my YouTube channel, then it's time to do so. I hope that you will subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos. Thanks for watching again, and thank you for being there, and see you guys for another one soon. Bye.